We're pleased to be joined by Vadym Adamov. You are a soldier, a 21-year-old veteran of Ukraine's army. You fought the Battle of Bakhmut, and it's your first trip to Paris. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
We're going to begin by looking, because when you're donning civilian clothes, you're a videographer and film director, and you've been chronicling your time on the front line. We're going to look at a clip from a video that you filmed last year.
Сніг такий гарний. Breakfast is orchestrating the way your day goes. It is a celebration of flavors, a gastronomic overture that tantalizes your life's taste buds. Right outfit is the one that proclaims, "Today I'm ready." Turn of a key and the gentle click of a closing door. It is more than leaving home. It is the transition from the comfort, accompanied by the rhythm of the streets. Untainted air fills your lungs. Waving leaves echoing the dance of compassion. A melody played by the unseen hands of the wind. Just a simple reminder of kindness from nature itself.
Спостерігаємо рух 4 підера. Хто може відпрацювати? Як прийняли прийом?
Landscapes observed from above are breathtaking. Fields in golden sunlight that stretch as far as the eye can see. Fire had comforted humanity through the ages, symbol of community and peacefulness. Water, a mirror to nature's tranquility, the essence of life. Imagine all these elements converging to create a distraction-free environment. Just you and your job, where no one can reach you. In these moments, your head fills with thoughts about your place in this timeline. Sometimes it's only your job that gently brings you back
Сука, звідки у них стільки БК, блядь?
to the tangible world.
Давай туди, де ми починали літати. Там, де оцінив штурм на 67-му.
And then, at the end of the day, there is meditation. It's a calming ritual that helps me unwind and reflect. It's in these moments of quiet that I find my...
All right, plenty of gallows humor, Vadym
There are.
Adamov, in that. A coping mechanism, because what you...
So I'm extremely surprised for you showing this video. It needs a lot of context. So I'm 21 now. The war lasts for 3 years. So when I was 18, the war started. Basically, the war started in February, and my birthday is also in February, in beginning of the February. So I celebrated my 18-year-old birthday, and then the war started, and then I went to the fight. And, you know, we are a really weird generation of Ukrainians, because when I was born in 2004, there was a revolution, Orange Revolution of Ukraine. When I turned 10, there was the beginning of the war, with Russia in 2014. Then I turned 18, and in like 2 weeks, there's full-scale invasion, and I'm becoming part of the Ukrainian army. So the thing here is, because before the war, I was working as a director. I was shooting music videos, shooting some commercials and stuff. Our generation of Ukrainians, we are trapped in this weird juxtaposing, because on the one hand, we grew up watching like European movies, American YouTube videos, listening to American music, to all sorts of Western content. And this is the only way I learned English. I never learned English like by learning it. Actually, I just was watching stuff.
Bravo.
Merci. So, yes, and when I was younger, our generation, we was watching some videos like my morning routine on YouTube. It's like, it's some fancy girl. She's like, oh, I wake up in the morning, I go jogging, I go like meditate for an hour and everything. And it's a weird kind of, this very fancy kind of living your life, of staying productive and everything. So I was like, okay. And then, like, fast forward 1 year, I'm in the Bakhmut. I'm fighting, like, the heaviest battle of, I think, might be true to say, since World War II, This is the photo of me before the invasion with the director's, like, thing. And then what happens, I'm like, okay, might be really interesting to make a sound, record a sound, with record a sound that sounds like one in those videos, like I wake up in 6 a.m., I do some beautiful stuff, etc., but to show the reality of the war. This juxtaposing, for me, it is extremely funny, and it's, it's funny how some of this actually makes sense,
Does it keep you grounded? Does it keep you balanced? You're facing danger every day.
Of course, humor is a huge part of not going crazy. Humor is a very important thing on a war, and making some other mechanisms to protect your mind is extremely important. So yeah, it's one of them. And the kind of art I was doing before the war, shooting videos, like writing some texts, writing essays, some more like poetry stuff. Writing on the front line really helps a lot to not to go crazy.
The Battle of Mariupol, then the Battle of Bakhmut, these are long, hard
I
slogs.
wasn't in the battle on Mariupol.
But I'm just saying, that these are long, hard slogs. After that, now, statements out of Washington. Is the resilience still there?
I think so, because, if we are talking about Ukraine, then of course people are tired, but people in Ukraine learned their lesson. People in Ukraine learned their lesson that Russia is not stopping, because people remember Afghanistan, Chechnya, people remember invasion in 2014, people remember Georgia, and history is trying to teach us a lesson that, that it's hard, that Russia won't stop, that Russia just put its whole country on military rails, and it can't exist without the war. Without the war, Russia can't exist. It will just fall from inside. So what's happening on the West is a huge lesson for not only for Ukraine, but for Europe, that Russia won't stop, and Europe has to think about its own security. Because if there will be a peace talks, I don't know if it's good or bad thing. I'm a soldier. My perspective is very narrow. But if there will be a peace talks, like realistically speaking, in few years, Russia will strike again, but this time Ukraine won't survive. If we don't change something, we won't survive, because last surviving of Ukraine in 2022 was a miracle, but we won't have 2 miracles in a row. And Europe is the next. And it's a big sign from Trump, big sign from our Western allies like America, that Europe has to think about its own security.
Is that what, if you were able to speak to people like the UK Prime Minister, like the French President, what would be your message to them right now, given the situation?
I think the message is that the first rocket that hits your country, the first Russian rocket, it just opens a portal to a completely different world. And when you'll be there, I hope you won't, but there's more and more chances that Europe might find itself in a place like this. And when you find yourself in a war state, you completely redefine the stuff that you thought before the war. Because I'm also was one of the guys who thought like, oh, no, Russia won't invade, or if they will do it with proxies or something. You know, in 23rd February, around 3 years ago, I had plans for the next day. I was like, okay, I will wake up, I will go have a coffee, I'll go sit down, write a script, do my job, go film something, and etc. But then at 4 a.m. you just wake up, you hear rockets, and you understand it's completely different. It's completely different world now for you personally. And we made a lot of mistakes, both Ukrainian military, politicians, both Ukrainian, we made a lot of mistakes, and you can't not be making mistakes when you're a small country that's fighting Russia, North Korea, China. You know, you can't live without mistakes. But Europe has a decent chance, like a God-given chance to learn on our mistakes, to get its military ready, to learn from Ukrainians about drones and do other ways to prepare.
One final question for you, Vadym Adamov. You're saying it's your first time in Western Europe. You've been to Berlin, you're in Paris, you're going to Brussels. Do people get that message that you've just put out there? Do you feel like they understand?
No, I don't feel. I feel like we are in completely different worlds, like we are from completely different planets. And I think European people, even if some people, they do realize, okay, yeah, it's dangerous, war might start, they use all the set of compensatory mechanisms, you know, psychological mechanism to not think about it. Oh, I think we'll be fine. I think like Trump will figure it out. I think Russia will figure it out. But then Trump is like, okay, guys, you figure it out themselves. And then most of the people are like, okay, maybe politicians will figure it out. But as Ukraine teaches us, there is a big chance that politicians won't.
Vadym Adamov, we wish you the very best. Keep on chronicling what you see. We thank you so much for what you've done.